we're so happy to have you on with us today because hey, Hitman, it's a hit,
Yeah.
and who knew? But you probably knew because just seeing Glenn take on this transformation, and of course you having to do it, this must have
Yeah.
been like, I like this one.
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw the script, I was like, this is amazing. Like it's just it's all wigs and makeup, and it's like such a, like almost like gallery of looks. Like it just shows everything that you can do across the board. And then Glenn's just awesome. I've worked with him a couple of times. So yeah, and he's always like psyched to do whatever, like he's always pretty excited about doing something different. So
Yeah, it is so cool to see his star rise because
yeah,
he's been working at this for a while, and we always love to see a good Texan rise up, right?
100%. Well, it's funny because you look at the comments and stuff, and most people don't realize that he's been doing films since he was like a kid, and
Oh,
he's been in like, they're like, smaller parts, but he's been in like everything, you know? And so, yeah, plus he's just super nice dude. Like, 100% just always working hard and being a cool guy. He's
mhm.
pretty awesome. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And then of course Richard Linklater is always a great guy too, and just someone that you've known for a long time as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, this is my third project with Rick,
Mhm.
and okay, you can't get much better than Rick.
Yeah.
He like kind of just like lets you do your own thing and steps in when he needs to step in, and it's always like he just comes over and he says something pretty like poignant, and it's just to the point, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, or oh, we should go in that direction or whatever. But um it's also just the diversity of the films that we get to work on, like I worked on that rotoscoped animation, which is like Waking Life, or Scanner Darkly, Apollo 10 and a half, which is such a great movie that I wish more people got to see. But
Mhm.
I did like hundreds of wigs for that, and I did all the makeup. It was all like late 60s. It was awesome. And then I'm working on Merrily. We roll along with him too. So that's kind of like the next Boyhood project.
Mhm.
So it's we're gonna be on it for 16 years.
Oh my gosh.
We're through two segments. We're gonna do another one in a couple months, and I'm already kind of mentally thinking about that. And it's also just gonna be really crazy because Paul Mescal's in that, and we've already seen him. He was in that amazing show, that Normal People, is that what it
Mhm.
was? The one. And and now he's Gladiator. He's the new Gladiator, and it'll be
Yeah.
released by the time we see him in December. And like it was already from segment one to segment two, which segment one we did in 2021. He bulked up for Gladiator, and so the costume designer was having to like, refinagle so many things just because he was just like a gladiator,
Mhm.
it's a really great project. I'm really excited about that one. But Hitman is like, it's just awesome. What a cool story. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool, and it's got to be so nice to because a big part of what people talk about that and that is like is Glenn and how he looks, because that is
Yeah.
a good looking dude, but like if you were able to mess with them, that's kind of fun, right?
Yeah. Him coming out as, because they all had names, but it's kind of funny because in the movie you don't really get to see, like, you don't know the names. So
Mhm.
but that was kind of the best part, because we didn't have makeup tests or anything. I rendered everything up, and I re-rendered everything up, and I re-rendered everything up for all of those looks. And I think I ended up with 40 different Glens.
Mhm.
Me, Rick, and Glenn just started meeting in like February of 22,
Mhm.
and the script wasn't even quite finished, and we were supposed to shoot in Houston originally, and then we ended up shooting in New Orleans, and the characters kept changing, and it was really crazy, but yeah, and we would all just like spitball ideas off of off the wall to each other, just kind of like, okay, so who would this hitman be for this character? And like, and then you even start like looking around at other people like in your life and being like, who would their hitman be? You know? And so, yeah, so that it was kind of a crazy year because it was a lot of just, I don't know, looking at people differently and trying to figure out what. And then Glenn would come up with some good ideas. I feel like I came up with some good ideas. There was one that didn't make it that I was a little bummed about, but it's okay. And then Rick, he had his ideas, but it was more like, well, what about this?
Mhm.
Or like he would just kind of throw in things for us to think about and parlay off of. And um, yeah, it was great. The little redheaded one is my favorite.
Yeah.
His name is Dean. But then there's Tanner was the one with all the tattoos that's kind of like good old boy. And um, that one, like I hand drew all those tattoos. I'm an artist as well. And for me, just like selfishly, that's probably my favorite because you get to see all of my cool drawings and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's so cool. And then but yeah, it was I mean amazing. And I really got all of the people to come in too. Like one of my alum, I used to teach at a university for a long time. One of my alum built one of the wigs. I build wigs too. My mentor, she built the little red wig. Like I got everybody kind of in for this one, and it was so cool.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
of course, people look up to what you do because I mean, you do incredible work, and this is a true showcase of that. So, what kind of advice do you give to people that want to follow in your footsteps and do what you do?
Um, I think the best advice that I can give somebody oof, would be, I mean, just to be okay with being poor for a while and sticking with it. Yeah, I mean, and also to never get another job if you don't have to. Like I only worked in makeup. Been doing makeup since I was like 14. I went to school at University of Texas in Austin. And I studied costume design and wigs and wig making and makeup design and that sort of thing, masks and puppets and things. But um, then I got out of school and if I wanted to go shopping, I would like bring $5 extra to the grocery store and buy something cool at the grocery store instead of anything else. I lived really bare bones until I really started getting it together. And then also I just any type of job, like I still do a lot of theater.
Mhm.
I still do a lot. I still will work on a short film if somebody calls, and it's cool. I mean, it has to be cool because short films are a little rough sometimes. Um, and then I'll work on a big film, and then I'll work on a big, commercial. So, I kind of feel like it's sort of like exercising in a weird way, kind of like I feel like actors should act in film and they should act in theater just to get that kind of it's like muscle movement. Like my theater is really, really important to me. It definitely pays the least, but it's normally so much more I mean, aside from Hitman, it's so much more creative normally. And so you just get to exercise your mind in those kind of ways, which I just think is really, really important. Just staying in a creative realm, really,
Mhm.
not getting out of it. And if times get tough, but whenever times got really tough for me, I always made up my own makeup work. Like I taught informal classes that I made up, and then I made up workshops that I taught all over Austin, and then I did headshots, which is how I met Christine. And that's how
Yeah.
I got myself through college, is I did hair and makeup for headshots. And I still work with some of those photographers. I mean, it's been like since 2001 is when I started doing headshots. So for 23 years, and I'll still do a headshot every once in a while. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I think that's what's important.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, we got to ask you because my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. So we got to ask you your Hail Mary moment, the moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
In a way, Hitman sort of
Yeah,
was, just because you had to think about Glenn not being Glenn. You had to think about all of the options, and you know, when it's film and it's Hollywood and things, how to not think about Glenn being like an attractive, an attractive dude, and necessarily like keeping him in that
yeah,
attractive realm, but just doing whatever you wanted to him in order to make it like pop in the way that it really needed to. I mean, like, it's hard to make that guy not attractive,
right.
you know.
I
But
know
I
that's
think
the impressive part.
but I think that is what made the film, that part of the film so successful, is that your mind was blown a little bit every time he popped up on screen, and it was just like a tidbit funny. But
Mhm.
he also is not somebody, he's not dateable. Dean the redhead is not dateable, you know. um I guess there's different strokes for different folks, but yeah, I mean, I would say that. I mean, a lot of it is also just believing in yourself enough, to like just do these giant things, and just believing you're not going to screw everything up. So the whole
That's
world can see, but yeah,
great.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Well, after this, I can't wait to see what you're doing next. You told us a little bit about the next Richard Linklater thing. Was there anything else that we need to look out for?
I'm doing SpongeBob SquarePants in 2025. It's
Oh,
not a movie, it's just a theater in the park thing, but I'm
that's
very excited
awesome.
about it. Yeah, I there's been a couple things in the works, but the film industry has been really weird this year. A lot of things come and a lot of things kind of have fizzled. I think it's all the worry about the strike and things, and then a lot of things just going overseas. But that's my main thing for the first time in really like years and years and years. I don't have my whole fall already planned out, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to try to get an art show together, and then
Good.
I'm building like cosplay masks right now for some
Oh, that's
cosplayers that are coming down from New York. So I'm building this giant Final Fantasy mask. But yeah, I'm actually stepping back from theater for a little while, for at least a season, and so that's actually what's big for me, is I'm not gonna work like four full-time jobs. I'm gonna just do cool things
yeah.
that I don't know what they
That's
are
amazing.
yet.
Well, hey, that sounds like a great existence, and you've
Yeah,
had one.
yeah.
We're so proud of all the work that you've done and continue to do, and we're just going to keep an eye on everything. But for now, congratulations on Hitman. So exciting, and look forward to talking to you again very very soon.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.